So I actually removed a modification from my Honda Shadow bobber chopper bike, and that was the Scoop Mod 4-inch forward controls. They basically brought my factory controls up a little bit and kind of put them at a little bit of an angle. Kind of let me stretch out a little bit more on this bike, which is perfect until I lowered the rear. That's some Amazon 2.5-inch lowering shocks. And now my rider triangle is kind of a little goofed up. let's just say goofed up. And the idea was that the rear just sat too low, my knees were too high, I was kind of pulling back on these bars a little bit. Like when I was sitting on the bike, it kind of felt like I was trying to hold myself up. Well, I'm not 100% convinced that moving these back to the factory location is gonna do the trick. And in all honesty, I think I might just give up. Now, when I say give up, I don't mean giving up on riding, because that would be ludicrous. And I don't mean giving up making videos on my Honda Shadow 750. No, this bike's amazing. I love this thing. Although my rear brake now does need to be adjusted, because I'm having to put my foot like all the way down. That is way too much play down there. And I'm just about willing to bet that the brake shoes on this rear drum are probably from 2008, and this being current year, they're probably a little overdue for getting changed. What I'm talking about is giving up the dream of the hardtailed chopper. Giving up that hardtail life. Because while I think the bike does look pretty cool, I don't know. A smoother ride would be kind of nice, not gonna lie. And this is actually the first time in, gosh, probably 3 years? Actually, no, probably closer to 3.5 since I put the forwards on. It's so weird having my knees like as high up as they are. It's I don't know. It's kind of weird. And of course, I got freaking Kuryakin Mini Riot floorboards down there, but I put those on after the forward controls went on, which actually, after I did put those on, I figured I probably could have done without the forward controls in the first place. And as much as I like having my feet stretched out, it is super comfortable, especially back when this bike was closer to stock. Oh man, with the 12-inch apes, the Mustang seat, 4-inch forward controls. Oh man, this was a comfortable bike. I probably should have left it like that instead of cutting her up. But it's a little late for that now, and sometimes I think about, hey, I could get another Shadow 750 and I could have the best of both worlds. I can have like a chopper style, and I can have like a Road King kind of, I don't know, touring style. But since I already have a 1600 Kawasaki that fills the touring, long distance kind of role, it doesn't make sense to have two of the exact same bike. Although they wouldn't be exactly the same, but you guys know what I mean. But this is nicer, though. I will say it is kind of nice to have a more neutral riding position on this thing. It is a lot more comfortable. It feels like my back's a little straighter. I'm not like falling off the bars. So this definitely helps. But I might have already, I might have done a little something too. I might have bought a little something. Yeah, I ended up tracking down a set of gently used stock Shadow Phantom shocks on eBay today. And yeah, they are ordered. And hopefully they'll be here in the next week or so. Because as cool as I like having hard struts and being an awesome, cool chopper guy, yeah, I'm going to end up putting those back on this bike. Or I'm going to end up putting shocks back on this bike, but I don't like the big chrome Aero ones. Because truth be told, I'm not a big chrome guy. Obviously, as you can tell, because I bought the Aero, which is the chrome freaking big fender one, and then completely went in a different direction. And I actually bought those based on riding this bike in this morning with the with the forward controls extensions removed. And it felt a little funny, but now it doesn't feel that bad. But still, it'd be nice to get my butt in the air a little bit, you know what I mean? And at one point, I did buy a cheap set of knockoff progressive shocks on Amazon. However, they're not perfect in the fact that, I mean, like the bushings, they don't fit. They're like 0.5 millimeter off, which is extremely frustrating. And also being a shaft drive, if you guys don't know this, on the Aeros, the Phantoms, the 07 to 09 Spirits, I believe, are shaft drive. There's some 1100s that were shaft drive. The rear shock bolt on the left-hand side of the bike, the bolt that holds it in, because it is a shaft drive, is actually set up differently than the one on the right, so there are two completely different diameters. Like when I did the hard struts, I actually bought some aluminum bushings and actually drilled those out, or I guess aluminum spacers, and drilled them out to where they would fill that gap between the bolt and the opening of the hard strut. Because while the uppers fit perfectly, the rears, they just didn't. And I was hoping I could use those cheap shocks, those knockoff progressives, those 10.5-inch lowering shocks, but it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to. So the next best thing, I think, as far as looks on this machine, is going to be those freaking factory Phantom shocks. Now, they still make the Shadow Aero, and after 2010 or 11, yeah, because the Phantom replaced the Spirit, and I think the last model year for the Spirit was 09, so I don't know if there was a 10 Phantom or not, but the newer Phantoms and the newer Aeros, same frame. Other than like some cosmetics, I'm pretty sure they're like exactly the same bike. So they're both shaft drive, the rear ends are pretty much the same, the frames are pretty much the same, so in theory they should bolt right on. And that's going to probably kill the bobber look, the chopper look, and I'm going to have to play with my headlight adjustment again. I'm going to have to remake brackets for that again. I already know that, to get it pointed up, because it's already angled perfectly for the current setup. And while, yes, bobbing a motorcycle and chopping it up and all that good stuff, that's not something you really do for distance. It's definitely not. But also, I'm kind of thinking of, if I don't want to be on this bike for more than 20 minutes at a time, I'm not going to want to ride it, and if I'm not going to want to ride it, then what's the freaking point? So yeah, I think we're getting rid of the hard struts. Getting rid of the forward controls definitely helped. I definitely feel more comfortable, but I just wish I was kind of in the air just a hair more. And who knows, actually, after that, I might put the forward controls back on. Who knows? But I'm curious to know what you guys would think. Do you think shocks are going to ruin the look of this bike? And if you didn't get a good enough look at it in the beginning, you can check out the walk-around video I did right here. As always, y'all be good. See ya. Ooh, baby. That's first. I thought that was like second. Ah.